Hello and welcome to the preliminary episode of Clueless Cuisine, where I will show you how to make noms on a budget. And, excuse me, this little web series is going to be for people who think they can't cook. In reality, you can cook, and I will show you how. I'm no professional, but I've been cooking since I was a teenager. And I've been cooking for my friends, my family, and now my husband. And I never learned from a school or anything like that. I just taught myself. I used common sense and I made it up as I went along. And so now I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. So this is for all you people out there who like to say, I can't cook or I have no money. What am I supposed to eat? Let me show you. For the preliminary episode, I'm just going to show you the type of materials we're going to be using. All my stuff comes from the dollar store, Goodwill, garage sales, whatever. I don't care. As long as it gets the job done, it's good enough for me. My favorite tools are sitting right here in front of you, and I'm just going to give a brief rundown. We will use some other things, but the majority will be these. First off is my handy dandy spatula. Next is a spoon. Duh. I do occasionally use a scraper spatula thingy to get the most out of the cans and all the packaging that I can. Of course, measuring cups and spoons, can opener. When we work, I'm going to have you use two knives. One is just a plain old serrated steak knife. There's nothing special about it. It's not like super sharp top of the line or anything. It's just a regular old, Saturday night at home steak knife. So we're going to use that a lot. And the other is just a cheap kitchen knife. I think I got this at Walmart, or no, I got it at Kroger on clearance for like $2. So we're gonna need this, and then of course just your typical butter knife, fork, and spoon. And there are other goodies in here like a whisk and a ladle, and we'll get into using those. You're gonna need a pot holder or a little glove thingy. You're going to need a big mixing bowl, and we're going to use a cutting board quite often. And let's see. It's also important that you have some bakeware. Mine's old, so pardon. Anyway, so really you're just going to need the basic stuff, and that's good enough to get you started. As far as actual cooking goes, I really only use 4 pots. This is my collection of this sort of thing. I've got a regular pan, which I don't use this very often. I mostly stick with pots because it allows me to stir things around and not risk spilling it all over the stove. I will use one of these quite often. I guess you'd call this a soup pot. Mine's lucky enough to come with a strainer, which you will also need because I do occasionally make pasta, and I plan to show you how. And you need a pot with a lid. And if you have a pot but it doesn't have a lid, there are tricks you can use, and I'll show you that when it becomes important. The main thing I will use is just a regular old medium pan, and occasionally a small one, but not very often. But this right here, this is what I will be using 90% of the time, and occasionally this one will go with it because I usually boil pasta in this one and make the sauce in this one. And then this big behemoth right here, I don't use this very often. I bought it months ago at Walmart for like $11, and I've used it once. I would use this to make large amounts of soup, especially if I'm cooking for my husband because he's a bottomless pit. So yeah, as you can see, it's It's a little dusty. I don't use it very often, but there it is. And so that should cover the basics on utensils, pots, pans, and all that fun stuff. And now, next up is to make our first meal. So, thank you for watching, and stay tuned.